Today's gaming PC flip is inside of one of the wildest cases that I've seen so far, so stick around because this one's gonna be fun. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Welcome back to the PC Rehab, everybody. Today is the 5th episode of our Build Up Challenge. Now, if you are new here, this is the series where we find old computers that have been long forgotten about, and we transform them into actual gaming systems, and then we sell them for a profit, and then I use those funds so that we can build a truly epic computer that I'm gonna end up just giving away to one of you guys. So let's bring in the next contestant on the PC Build Up Challenge. So check this thing out. Oh, did you get a load of that? Not only is this thing huge, but it is equally as heavy. It's a good thing that there's this handle here because it would be a true shame if I couldn't just bring this tank with me everywhere I go. There's so much dust on the back of this radiator. Now, I bought this computer from an extremely nice lady who probably didn't know very much about computers because in the listing, it said that this thing needs programming, and I don't know what she's talking about. What it probably is she tried to turn the system on, it booted to BIOS because there's no hard drive in here. So the lady that sold this to me probably also doesn't know too much about hardware because she wasn't able to tell me anything about this computer. Now, I do have a hunch that it's probably an older FX series processor and some kind of older GPU. I have not figured out what this thing is yet, but we will take it apart. We're gonna figure out what it is. But this computer also does have a 120mm radiator. It also has 16 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM and a 1000 watt power supply. 1000 watts. 1000 watts for this thing. But something that does have me kind of upset is I don't think we're gonna be able to reuse this glorious, crazy looking case because it is missing some of the slot covers in the front here. It is also missing every single PCIe slot cover in the back. There are some dings and some scratches, and it is extremely dirty. So we might be finding a new home for the hardware that's in here. Now, along with the fact that this computer is absolutely ginormous, it is extremely filthy, like I said before, so we are going to need to deep clean every single piece in here before we can go ahead and even try to sell this thing. So let's go ahead and start taking this thing apart and pulling on some wires until something breaks. I'm just kidding, I wouldn't do that. But seriously, let's go ahead and take this thing apart. So this thing was extremely gross, and that radiator is one of the worst I've seen. It's not as bad as episode 1's radiator, but this is still pretty gross. Now, the processor inside of this computer is an FX 6100 processor, and now we also have this Radeon HD 7870 graphics card, and I have never used this graphics card. Definitely not this graphics card and this CPU pairing. So it's gonna be interesting to see how well this computer performs when we do get the whole thing put together. But this computer definitely needs to be scrubbed down. So we're gonna get started on that. Well, we'll do it right now. So the system is 100% clean and it is ready to get reassembled. Now there was one thing missing from the original computer, and that was a hard drive. It did not have a hard drive inside of the system. So I went out and got a 1 terabyte SSD drive. So that way we have a little bit quicker storage. The computer will operate faster and overall make the experience of using this system just a little bit better. Now, I did make a decision on the old case. I think that it's just too far gone. It's really not worth the time to try and clean that thing because it is missing too many pieces. And a buyer's really not gonna wanna buy a computer that's missing a whole bunch of stuff. So I did go out, I bought this brand new case for it. I'm gonna be honest with you, I have no idea who the manufacturer is, but it does have tempered glass side panel, tempered glass front panel, and these clear LED, I think they're RGB fans. So honestly, it's not that nice of a case. I'll be dead honest with you. It's really not. I will link this case in the description down below, and you can make your own decision on if you like it or not. But to me, it seems like it definitely looked better in pictures than it does in real life. But we are gonna go ahead, throw some tunes on, and let's get this thing put back together. cable managing in this thing was absolutely terrible. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that magical time where we try and power this system on for the very first time and see if I did my job well, and we're gonna make a little bit of money. So without further ado, I've got the switch on. Let's see if this thing works and let's see what it looks like. Ooh, pretty. Everything seems to be working. What about the image? She said we needed to program this thing. There it is. Programming. Well, we are gonna go ahead and put Windows on this system, and then we are going to see how well this thing can game. Hang on tight for this one. It's so funny that when you play an older system like this, it really puts in perspective just how far we've come when it comes to computers. So Forza actually just crashed, and we're gonna load in and we're gonna try it one more time. But the funny thing is the GPU in this system is actually holding up fairly well. It's the CPU that's getting absolutely hammered. It has been at 100% load this entire time, and you can tell. So in Forza 5, we are able to get around 39 to 42 FPS. It's not absolutely unplayable. It is dropped down to as low a settings as possible for the game, and it still looks pretty good. Now, it is still at 1080p, so if we dropped it down to 720p, you'd probably be able to get even more frames, but nobody really wants to play at 720p these days, so this is it is as good as it's gonna get for this game, but you know, it's not the worst. I've played on worse systems, that's for sure.
The enemy team has destroyed the gold
Clear the area. Kill the amplifier.
Don't worry, champ. I'm sure you helped. Can somebody report that guy?
How does that feel? See me now.
So while the gameplay on this computer was not blowing anybody away, it is still a very good computer. It has plenty of storage. It'll be great for some light gaming, and it'll be wonderful for some schoolwork and that kind of thing. Now, I did have a plan in place for the graphics card. I was thinking about doing a replacement and putting something just a little bit more powerful in there, but once I started playing games on here and I saw that the CPU was just being dominated the entire time, there was really no point in upgrading the graphics card because it really wouldn't have done any good. It would have just been us adding money for absolutely no gain. So we just stuck with this older AMD card. But I think it was a good decision because it kept our costs down pretty low. All right, we are at the part where I need to refer to my cell phone for all these numbers because there's absolutely no way that I can memorize all this stuff. So for the original system, we did pay $100 for the case and the SSD, which were the only two upgrades we put inside of this computer. I paid $130, making the total build cost for this computer right here only $230. And that brings our grand total down from, what was it? It was $652 down to $422. But as luck would have it, while I was testing games on this computer right here, a nice young lady on Facebook Marketplace contacted me, and she was very interested in the computer that we built in the last episode of the series. So she actually just finished paying me for it. But what I can do now is take this $440 that I was just paid for our last computer, and I can add it to this stack of money right here and bring our total bank back up to $862. And we still have this computer to sell. So while I do think that our newest computer looks very good, it definitely is not the most powerful system that we have created, and I'm not the kind of person who's going to try to overcharge people for parts that I know are not valued high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to list this computer for $320. Now, I don't think that we're going to get $320. What I'd like to try to get with this computer is maybe an extra $50. So we paid $230. Hopefully we get somewhere around $280, $290, maybe even $260. That's at the lowest end, but I am in no hurry to sell this computer because we have made quite a bit of money. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what somebody's willing to pay for this system. Now, I did want to take a second just to say thank you real fast to everybody that has supported this channel so far. It truly means the world to me, from all of the subscribers to everyone in the Discord to all my moderators who take care of the Discord and do such a fantastic job doing so. I just wanted to say thank you so much. This is the last episode that I will be filming from this office, and it might be the last episode of the PC Rehab just for a little bit until I can get situated in my new house. It is a large move, especially when you have 2 young children, but I'm definitely gonna be back. This is something that I love to do. I love making these videos for you guys, and I'm in love with this series. I love the idea, and we are making some steady gains here, right? And remember, if you are somebody who is in possession of an older computer, maybe sitting in a garage or an attic or a closet somewhere collecting dust, I'll put my email down below. Go ahead, shoot me an email. I might be interested in purchasing that from you so that we can add it to this series. But for the very last time in Charlotte, North Carolina, inside of this studio right here, I'd like to say that no matter where you are in the world, I hope that you are having the most fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video.